Assalamu alaikum everyone, dear friends, family, the Rizana community. Today, I'm inviting all of us into a workshop, into the scribble notes, late night Zoom calls, discussions on WhatsApp, and heartfelt debates that will shape this year's English Muharram lecture series. Why do I say that? Because Muharram is more than a season of mourning. It is a living university. Every tear, every verse of Marcia, every heartbeat that whispers Ya Hussein carries a syllabus. And that syllabus is to listen, reflect, reform, and then rise. We take that syllabus seriously at Darizanab because in a world changing faster than TikTok scrolls, we need a spiritual compass that is sharper, steadier, and shared by the entire household. From the 12-year-old gamer who's just entering the high school to the 65-year-old grandparent who's looking at the children and saying, this is not how we grew. And this is how we were taught, but this is a different world. Let me ground this mission in a moment from our traditions. The reason why it is important to ground ourselves is to understand that when we are preparing for these lectures, it's not just preparation, it is basically putting heart and soul into something that should make a difference. One night while Imam Ali was in Kufa, he walked the streets of Kufa, and as he used to do every night, he heard children crying inside a small home. When he knocked, a widow explained she was boiling water with stones just to lull her orphans to sleep with the sound because there was no food. Ali did not lecture her on patience at that very moment. Rather, Imam rushed to the treasury, filled a sack with flour, dates, oil, whatever there was, and brought it back on his shoulder to the house and cooked for the family with his own hands. There is an important lesson here. A leader first listens to the pain, then supplies what heals it personally and immediately. That is the mindset we want to bring from Dar Zainab this Muharram. We need to diagnose first, prescribe second. We need to listen to the community. We need to listen to the pain that we feel. We need to listen to what is coming down the road. We need to feel the hunger before offering the feast. And that's why this journey this year, we are refusing to go with a topic by spinning the wheel and finding inspiration. Instead, we are mapping the real pain points of Shia families in the West and beyond. And today, these pain points are becoming common around the world, not only for today, but also for 3 years down the road. Think of the teens who are tempted by vaping or drinking or secret relationships because everyone does it. The AI power feeds that are shaping our children's belief before we even notice. The parents who are juggling rising costs while praying their kids stay anchored in Islamic principles. The global crisis that demand that we stand up for the oppressed. While dependence on others and our livelihood, they keep our hands tied. These are not whispered side conversations anymore. They are the curriculum we must tackle head on with the courage of Karbala. To keep every voice in the hall engaged, we are designing these lectures to think about 3 overlapping circles. Our community members who live these challenges daily and will offer raw feedback. Then those people, those of us who are doing the research, they themselves are professionals and parents. They are crafting the content while facing the same storms. And the scholars who are the support and guidance, who will review and provide feedback from the guidance and the light of Quran and Sunnah and the legacy of Ahlul Bayt al-Islam, because ultimately the time of Muharram is a promise that was done by Allah to Sayyidah Fatima Zahra that the remembrance of Imam Hussein will live on. So everything that we will talk about will be in the framework of Imam Hussein al-Islam, Karbala and Ahlul Bayt al-Islam. So just to quickly wrap up this particular podcast, as we will have many more, we will try to do daily just to keep you updated on the back and behind the curtain work that is happening. So from June 3rd and 4th, we will try to gather trends and draft an initial perspective on what are the bigger themes that we are facing. We would like to share that with the community on June 5th and 6th and get their feedback. So while you're at Darizana for Eid or for Majalis, record your feedback, share your story, rate your worries from June 8th to 12th. We'll cluster these into themes and subtopics. And we will always be asking, where does Imam Hussein's examples speak to us? Where do Ahlul Bayt alayhi and their examples speak to us? What do they tell us? And on June 13th, the night of the celebration, the night of the 18th of Zulhajj, the night of the covenant of Ghadir, at which the purpose of Dar Zainab is to rebuild that covenant, we will present those subtopics. We will present the key themes with you for you to provide your feedback from the moment onwards, from June 13th, from 18th Zulhajj. Next 12 days, the speakers will be assigned and they will take these topics and develop their own material with guidance from the scholars, Dr. Hathim, to actually make practical lectures that people can implement in their lives. And then come June 27th, which will be the first day of Muharram lectures, inshallah. So, the 3 call to actions for all of you. Watch your WhatsApp, YouTube channel, Facebook, wherever. Just follow along as we build this series so that you know what is happening. Mark for June 5th and 6th. Come to Darizana, provide your feedback, raw feedback. Bring your questions, bring your worries. And third is engage continuously, but please pray. For this effort requires your prayer. There is nothing that we can do except for the help of Allah and Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. And that will only come with the sincere prayer, dua of the mu'mineen. So if you think about when the 12 days end, when the lights dim after Ashura, we will not pack these ideas into storage. No, you know that we have published books before. We want to use this series to become a living manifesto, a document that centers can use on for the next 3 years, updated as new challenges surface. This will define the tactical goals for the next 3 years for Dar Zainab, as well as for the broader Shia community. Because Muharram is not a 2-week emotional high, it is the launch pad for generational change. Imam Hussain taught us to plan beyond the battlefield. Together, we will plan beyond the majlis. So our children inherit a faith that is proud, intelligent, and unbreakably strong, because it addresses pain points that we face, not just thinks about things that people might not think about on a daily basis. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we unpack the first findings from our day 1 of research. Until then, keep us in your dua, and remember, every land is Karbala, where hearts carry. Assalamu alaikum.